I died choking on my own blood in a dingy motel room off I-95. My brother's voice on the phone laughing as sirens wailed closer. You always were the family joke. Kenzie. Enjoy the fall. The last thing I saw was his smug face from a grainy security feed he'd sent, toasting with champagne while my world burned. But death isn't the end when you've got unfinished business. I woke up gasping in my old twin bed. 17 again. The Navy recruitment pamphlet crumpled in my fist like a promise I hadn't broken yet. That gasp turned into a sob, raw and ugly, as the dormer window framed the same faded American flag fluttering in the Jersey suburbs breeze. Mom's voice drifted up from the kitchen. Kenzie? Breakfast. Oblivious to the ghost in her daughter's skin. I was back. 2 weeks before high school graduation. Before I signed those enlistment papers that brother dearest, Ethan, had called your ticket to scrubbing toilets in fatigues. He'd been 22 then, already interning at Dad's old firm, Vanguard Dynamics, a defense contractor sucking billions from Pentagon teat. I could still taste the betrayal, fresh as the day he'd sold me out years later, framing me for leaking classified specs to a rival, pocketing the kickback while I took the hit, court-martial, dishonorable discharge, and that final setup in the motel where suicide was the narrative he scripted. Ethan, the golden boy, climbing the ladder on my broken back. I bolted upright, heart hammering like a jackhammer on asphalt. The room smelled of strawberry shampoo and desperation, posters of fighter jets peeling at the edges. My hands, smaller, unscarred, trembled as I touched my face, the faint acne scars from senior year a roadmap to hell undone. Holy shit, I whispered, voice cracking like a teenager should. This wasn't a dream. The calendar on my wall screamed May 2008. George W. Still squinting from the newsstand down the block. Iraq was raging, the economy teetering, and I had a second shot. No more playing the loyal little sister. No more letting Ethan's shadow eclipse me. This time, I'd build an empire from the ground up, Navy first, then straight to the throat of Vanguard. I'd make him laugh all right before I yanked the rug out. Downstairs, Mom hovered over the stove, her nurse's scrubs crisp as her worry lines. Dad had bailed years ago, leaving her to wrangle 2 kids with opposite trajectories. Me, the dreamer enlisting to escape. Ethan, the schemer gunning for corner office by 30. You okay? Hon, look like you saw a ghost. She slid a plate of eggs my way, eyes soft but probing. I forced a grin, the kind that hid grenades. Just nerves about the recruiter. But I'm good.
Mom.
Better than good. Ethan slouched in from the den, tie loose around his neck, fresh from some mock interview. He smirked over his coffee, that trademark curl to his lip. Still chasing glory in camo? Come on, Kenzie. Dad's firm has openings for admins. Real money, not push-ups. The words hit like shrapnel, but I swallowed the rage, tasting copper. In my first life, I'd bitten back, enlisted anyway, only for him to sabotage every step. Anonymous tips to superiors, whispers of instability. This time,
이든엇.
Play the part, then flip the script. Maybe you're right, I said sweetly, watching his ego puff. But first, the Navy builds character, right? He barked a laugh, clapping my shoulder too hard. Character? You'll need a miracle. Mom shushed him, but I saw the flicker, pride warring with his need to dominate. Breakfast blurred into small talk, but my mind raced circuits, timelines, alliances, the buried secret I'd unearthed too late before. Ethan's side hustle wasn't just embezzlement. He'd been siphoning R&D funds from Vanguard's drone program, funneling to black market buyers with ties to cartels south of the border. I'd stumbled on the ledgers during a routine audit, the disgraced vet scraping by as a consultant, and confronted him. His solution? Plant evidence tying me to the leaks. Paint me as the traitor. The board bought it. The Navy buried me.
But now,
with foreknowledge sharper than a K-bar, I'd document every dirty dime. School dragged like a convoy through sand, but I aced finals with eerie precision, reciting answers from memory like cheat codes. The recruiter,
SGT.
Ramirez, eyed me suspiciously when I walked in post-graduation. Uniform pressed. Eyes burning. You sure about this? Hayes. Most kids your age are chasing college parties. I'm sure, I said, signing with a flourish that echoed my deathbed vow. Boot camp at Great Lakes was hell redux, drill instructors screaming obscenities that once broke me down but forewarned.
I thrived.
Pushed harder. Networked smarter. By week 6, I was squad leader, barking orders with a ghost of future pain fueling me. Letters home? Curated optimism. Killing it.
Mom.
Ethan's promo sounds epic. Tell him congrats. Lies. All of it. But they bought me time. Ethan's ascent was predictable as a bad sequel. Vanguard scooped him up full-time. Nepotism's golden ticket. Holiday calls dripped with condescension. Heard you're shipping to Pendleton. Hope the sand fleas don't eat you alive. I'd laugh it off. But inside, I cataloged his emails I'd hack later. His mentors who'd fold under pressure. The betrayal's root ran deeper than money. It was Dad's ghost. Before the divorce, he'd whispered to me about Vanguard's underbelly, corner-cutting on contracts. Lives traded for profits. I'd vowed to expose it one day.
But Ethan?
He'd idolized the game, twisting Dad's lessons into a crown of thorns he jammed on my head. First leave. I flew coach to Jersey. Muscles aching from PT. Buzz cut itching under my cover. Mom's hug crushed the air for me. Ethan showed with takeout and that fake brother charm. Look at you. G.I. Jane. Bet the boys love the tough chick vibe. His eyes appraised. Dismissing, I was still the little sister. Not the storm brewing. We clinked beers on the porch. Stars smudged by summer glow. So, what's the plan post-Navy? Security gig? Marry some jarhead. He leaned back, smug as ever. I sipped slow, eyes on the fireflies.
Bigger.
Intel track. Maybe corporate someday. The hook dangled, he bit. Vanguard's always hiring vets. I could put in a word. Patronizing. But it masked his fear, I knew from the future. He'd block any approach. Whisper unstable to HR. Appreciate it, I lied, clinking back. That night, alone in my room, I fired up the ancient family PC. Passwords unchanged. Ethan's sloppiness a gift. Buried in temp files, early drafts of falsified reports. Dates aligning with his first bonus. Screenshot city. Evidence Phase 1. Deployment to Afghanistan hit like a dust storm in '09. Embedding with a recon unit chasing Taliban supply lines. Bullets whined closer than memory allowed. But I adapted, volunteered for high-risk ops. Earned stripes and scars that'd open doors. Nights in the TOC, poring over manifests. I spotted patterns. Vanguard drones failing at key moments. Intel suggesting sabotage from within. Ethan's hand? Too early to prove, but the seed rotted. Promotions blurred, E, 4 by 11. OCS gnawed after a stint stateside. Annapolis was a pressure cooker of Ivy brats and grinders like me, but I networked like a viper, professors with Pentagon pull, classmates from old money. Kenzie Hayes, they'd say. The one who doesn't sleep. True. Sleep brought nightmares of that motel carpet. Blood pooling like spilled ink. By 2013, LT. Hayes. I rotated to Cyber Command at Fort Meade, the digital battlefield where Vanguard's contracts bled into reality. That's when I dug deeper, FOIA requests masked as routine, allies in the know feeding crumbs. Ethan's rise mirrored mine inversely, junior exec by 25, VP whispers by 28. But cracks showed, a whistleblower email, anonymous, hinting at procurement irregularities. I traced it to a Vanguard engineer, scared silent after a warning. Controversy brewed my first big call. Stationed in D.C. For a joint task force, I uncovered a microleak, low-level specs trickling to foreign servers. Finger pointed at a contractor, not Vanguard, but close. Report it clean. Climb safe? Or twist it? Bait Ethan into overreaching? I chose the gray zone, accidentally looping Vanguard into the probe, watching him squirm from afar. His panicked call came at 0200. Kenzie? What the hell's this about audits? You stirring shit. Just doing my job. Bro. I murmured. Voice honey over razor wire. Family sticks together. Right? He hung up fuming. I smiled in the dark. But doubt not. Was this revenge or madness? Mom's cancer diagnosis, that fall tipped the scales. Stage 3. Chemo ravaging her like friendly fire. I cashed leave. Drove cross-country to Jersey. Ethan too busy with board meetings. Her hand in mine, frail as tissue. Proud of you both. Don't let hate win. Kenzie. Hate? It was oxygen. But her words haunted. A moral IED. I buried it, focusing on the endgame. Post-mom's remission. Miracle of grit. I angled for transition. Navy brass eyed me for liaison roles. I volunteered for a Pentagon fellowship, embedding with defense oversight committees. Whispers of corporate poaching followed, firms hungry for battle-tested talent. Vanguard? They'd regret the hunger. 2018. Captain Hayes. I penned the op-ed that lit the fuse, from the front lines to the boardroom. Why defense contractors need accountability. Published in Foreign Policy. It danced around specifics, but eviscerated the system Ethan's thrived in. Shares exploded. Invites poured. He texted, cute stunt. Undermining the hand that feeds. Feeding who? Ethan? I replied, deleting before regret hit. The piece opened doors, a think tank gig. Then a quiet offer from the DoD's Inspector General Office. But my play was bolder, leverage into Vanguard's restructuring. The firm was hemorrhaging after a scandal, unrelated, but ripe for infiltration. I retired, honorably in 20, capstone speeches touting service, then slid into consulting for federal audits. The setup was surgical. Ethan's promotion to COO came with fanfare, glass ceiling for the Hayes boy wonder. But Vanguard's board, spooked by regulatory heat, sought fresh oversight. My resume? Impeccable. Interviews blurred. By summer 22. The call. MS. Hayes. We'd like you for Executive Director of Compliance. Effective immediately. I hung up. Pulse thundering. The office, his office. Soon mine. Loomed in my mind's eye. That corner suite with Hudson views he'd bragged about. Time to walk in unannounced. Part 1 clocked in at the Jersey airport. Nerves electric as a live wire. Ethan thought he knew power plays. I'd rewrite the rules. Mom's gone now, peacefully. Years after her scare, leaving me untethered. A missile locked. The flight to New York was turbulence-free. But inside, storms surge. Cab from LaGuardia snaked through canyons of steel and glass. Billboards hawking EVs and crypto dreams. Vanguard Tower pierced the sky at Battery Park, a monolith of American ambition, where Ethan perched like a vulture. Security buzzed me up. Welcome, Director Hayes, and the elevator hummed to the 47th floor. Mirrors reflecting a woman in tailored wool. Epaulets swapped for lapel pins. Hair pulled into a no-nonsense chignon. 34 going on vengeful 45. Lines etched from battles unseen. Doors parted. The executive floor was hushed opulence, marble veins. Abstract art screaming money. His assistant, a harried millennial named Jess, jumped at my approach. Kenzie? Ms. Hayes, Mr. Hayes isn't expecting. Surprise audit. I cut in. Smile sharp as a Saluki. Where's the corner office? She pointed.
Baling.
As I strode past cubicles of drones and button-downs. The plaque gleamed. Ethan Hayes.
Coup.
I didn't knock. The knob turned smooth, and there he was, feet up on a teak desk, phone to ear, barking at some underling. And if that bid falls through, heads roll.
Got it.
He glanced up, smirk fading to confusion, then shock as recognition hit. The phone clattered. Kenzie? What, the director? You're shitting me. I closed the door soft, the click echoing like a chambered round. Morning, brother. Nice view. Mind if I redecorate? His chair scraped back, face draining to newsprint white. We were mirrors cracked, same haze jaw,
Same hazel eyes.
but mine burned with borrowed time. He recovered fast, that COO polish kicking in. This a joke? HR prank. Laughter forced.
Brittle.
I perched on his desk edge, crossing legs in Louboutins I'd charged to the relocation budget.
No yoke.
Board approved last night. Effective now. You'll get the memo in 5. Pulled a folder from my briefcase, the one with those 08 screenshots. Aged like fine wine. But first,
Us time.
catch up on old secrets. Ethan's Adams apple bobbed, eyes darting to the door. Look, whatever grudge. Grudge, I echoed, voice low thunder. You framed me for treason, Ethan. Sold out your own blood for a corner suite. I died because of it, bled out alone while you toasted my suicide. Ring any bells. He froze, mask slipping to raw fear. What the hell are you talking about? You're crazy. That Navy Psych eval must've. I slid the folder open. Top page, a redacted ledger from his early days. Crazy? This says embezzlement. This. Flipped to a transcript of his motel call. Voice print matched. Says murder 1. Accessory. But hey, family discount. Confess. And maybe I bury it deeper than you buried me. The room shrank, Hudson glittering mockingly beyond glass. He slumped, hands raking hair graying at temples. Kenzie. It wasn't I panicked. The leaks. The pressure. You were always too principled. Threatened everything. Principled. I spat.
Tasting bile.
You mean honest. While you funnel drone tech to narcos. Killed how many indirect? Flashback hit. Afghan villages pulverized by faulty gear. Ghosts I'd carried. He lunged for the folder. I snatched it back. Knee connecting with his gut. He wheezed.
Doubling.
Controversial? Hell yes. Assaulting the COO on hour one. But catharsis burned sweet. Sit. I commanded. And he did. Broken. The confession spilled like bad bourbon. Dad's shadow. The divorce debt. His one score snowballing. I'd been collateral. The loose end. I didn't want you dead, he choked. Just. Gone. I leaned in, breath ghosting his ear. Gaun's not enough. Resign by noon. Or this hits the Times. With your penthouse picks for spice. He nodded. Shattered. Victory? Tasted ash. Mom's words echoed, don't let hate win. But as I stood, straightening my jacket, I saw the twist uncoiling, his eyes. Not defeated. Calculating. A hidden drive. Always the schemer. I left him there, doors sealing his tomb. Elevators down. Jess gawked, I nodded cool. The lobby spat me into Manhattan bustle, hot dog vendors. Tourists oblivious. Phone buzzed, board chair. Settling in. Director? Smooth as silk, I lied. But unease prickled, Ethan's final glare promised war. Revenge wasn't a checkmate, it was opening salvo. And in this second life, I'd fight dirty. The first week as director was a minefield masquerading as memos. Vanguard halls buzzed with rumor, the Navy ghosts here to clean house, and I leaned into it. Striding floors and power heels that echoed like boot heels on deck. My office, the one next to Ethan's. Walls thin enough for his pacing to thrum like a guilty heartbeat. He resigned Friday, citing family matters, a golden parachute big enough to bruise. The board bought it, patting my back for swift transition. Idiots. If they knew the blood on that chute. I dove in surgical, audits on procurement, interviews laced with steel. Engineers cracked like walnuts, mister. Hayes pushed the deadlines. Cut corners on testing. Drones. Those mechanical vultures. Had shipped with faulty NAV chips. Courtesy of Ethan's black market swaps. Casualties? Buried in redacted reports. But I tallied them in nightmares. A Marine squad vaporized and hellmanned. Chalked to enemy action. My old unit. Foreknowledge twisted the knife. I'd mourned them in my first life. Clueless to the architect. Monday morning. Coffee black as vendetta. I called in favors. Old Annapolis buddy. Now NSA liaison. Fed me Ethan's digital breadcrumbs. Offshore accounts in Cayman shells. Numbered to ghosts. You're playing with fire. Kenzie, he warned over secure line. This guy's connected, senators. Lobbyists. Let it burn, I said. Hanging up. Controversial decision numero uno. Leak a teaser to ProPublica. Anonymous. Just enough to spook his network. By lunch, his phone, unlisted number I'd memorized, lit up. What did you do? Voice raw. No polish. Justice, I replied. Casual as ordering Thai. Pack your bags.
Ethan.
Feds knock next.
Click.
Silence. Then a crash, probably his scotch collection. Satisfaction curled low.
But so did dread.
This wasn't just payback. It was dismantling a dynasty built on Dad's bones. Mom's chemo bills? He'd helped buy cooking books. Siphoning her settlement. The secret festered. Not just greed, but erasure. He'd scrubbed my name from Dad's will addendum, a scholarship fund for vet kids. Mine by right. I'd found the forgery post-death. Too late. Afternoons bled into strategy sessions, me the hawk in dove feathers. Board meetings were theater. I'd nod at their platitudes. Ethics first. While plotting the purge. Fire the enablers. Promote the whistle-ready. A young analyst, Priya, caught my eye sharp. Overlooked. You're in, I told her over lunch at the firm cafe. Compliance deputy. Watch and learn. Her grin lit something maternal. Thawing ice. Heard about your brother. Ballsy. Bloody, I corrected, but smiled back. Human connection. Rare as rain in the desert. Nights.
Though?
Penthouse solitude. I'd splurged on a Tribeca loft. Views of bridges like veins. Wine poured. I'd pace. Replaying deaths. Mine. The squad's. Mom's quiet fade. Rebirth's gift was clarity. Curse was isolation. Who trusts a woman who remembers her grave? Twist hit midweek. A courier package at reception. No sender. Just a USB and bubble wrap. Jess handed it over. Wary. For you.
Ma'am.
Creepy vibe. Locked in my office. I plugged it in encrypted, but my cyber command muscle cracked it quick. Files unfolded. Ethan's insurance policy. Not on me, on himself. Recordings. Grainy. Him pitching to cartel reps in a Miami backroom. 15 vintage. Hayes delivery. Premium quality. But deeper. My face. Blurred. In a surveillance still. Timestamp?
Pre-death.
Motel exterior. He'd framed me twice over, planting doubts even in his own contingency. Rage boiled, but calculation cooled it. Call the cops? Too clean. Lets him lawyer up. Use it?
Bait.
I copied the drive, then accidentally left my laptop open during a floor walk, bait for his inevitable spy. Sure enough. 0300 ping. Intrusion attempt. Traced to a VPN in his new consulting office uptown.
Gotcha.
Confrontation too brewed at a family reunion. Just us. Neutral ground. A diner off the turnpike where Mom used to sneak us pancakes. He slid in late. Trench coat rumpled. Eyes hollowed like a junkie's. Truce, he started. Voice conciliatory. Waitress poured sludge coffee. I stirred slow. Truce implies war's over. I slid a printout across, the Miami transcript. You're done, Ethan. Feds have your balls in a vice by dawn. He scanned, paling further. You don't get it. It was bigger. Dad's old partners. The ones who drove him out. I fixed it. For us. For you, I snapped. You laughed when I enlisted, called it a dead end. Then buried me when I got close to the truth. His laugh was hollow, echoing our childhood taunts. You were always the hero.
Kenzie. Me?
Survivor. Navy made you soft. All that honor crap.
Soft?
I grabbed his wrist. Nails digging crescents. Soft died in that motel. This. Twisted harder. This is me. Reborn. He yanked free. Rubbing red skin. Reborn? You're delusional. Therapy. Sis. Navy's got programs. Gaslight. Classic Ethan. But I saw the crack. Desperation in his fidget. The way he eyed the exit. Sign this. Pushed a non-disclosure. Ironclad. Tying his silence to my mercy. Or the USB goes viral. He signed, pen shaking, but as he rose, he leaned in, cologne sour with sweat. You think you're winning? Board's got my back. One word for me. You're the unstable vet who framed her kin. Threat hung. Toxic. I watched him slink out, taillights fading into Jersey sprawl. Back in the city, insomnia gripped, I scrolled old photos, us kids at the shore, sandcastles crumbling. Was this victory or vivisection? Controversial call 3. Reach out to his ex. The one he'd cheated on. See if she'd flip. She did. Tearful over Zoom. He bragged about handling you. God. Kenzie. I'm sorry. Her intel? A safe deposit box. Manhattan vault. Stuffed with hard drives. Raid-worthy. But solo? Risky. I called my NSA ghost. Hypothetical op. Old family beef. Kenzie. No. But he caved. Sending a discreet team. Dawn raid. Box cracked. Jackpot. Ledgers. Tapes. Even Dad's original will. My name intact. Scholarship ripe for revival. Tears hit then. Hot and unbidden. For Mom. For the ghosts. But Ethan wasn't idle. Friday board call. Concerns about Director Hayes' methods. Personal vendettas. His voice. Oily over speaker. I muted. Breathed fire. Unmute. Gentlemen. Let's vote confidence. Or I walk with the files. Bluff half-true. They folded. But the seed of doubt sprouted. Whispers in halls. Priya warning. They're circling. Your brother's lawyered up. Weekend blurred into prep. Allies rallied. Press primed. Sunday brunch at my loft. Priya. A few loyalists turned war council. He's got a mole, I said. Pouring mimosas. Find it. She nodded.
Fierce.
Loneliness ebbed. This was squad. My chosen. But night fell heavy. City hum mocking. Rebirth's weight pressed. Had I become him? Ruthless. Isolated? Monday dawned crimson. Headlines brewing. Ethan's countermove. Leaked email. Forged, painting me as obsessed stalker. Twitter. X now erupted. Vanguard vendetta trending. Pundits decrying woke witch hunt. My phone? Fury from brass. Clarify. Hayes. I did. Presser at noon. Poised. Unyielding. Accountability isn't vendetta. It's American. Cameras flashed. Support swelled. Vets online. Cheering the Navy boss bitch. But the twist deepened. Late call. Unknown number. A gravel voice. Cartel accent. Senorita Hayes. Your brother talks too much. We fix.
See?
Or you next. Threat chilled deeper than Afghan nights. Ethan. Selling me out again? Or pawn in bigger game? I traced it, burner. But pinged to his uptown lair. Payback time.
Night up.
Solo stupid. Black hoodie. Glock from old contacts. Uptown office. Locks picked like grudges.
He was there.
Frantic on laptop. Cartel feed live. She's closing in. Send the cleaners. I stepped from shadows. Gun steady. Miss me? Bro. He whirled. Face ashen. Kenzie, God. God. I advanced. Chamber clicking. Where was he in that motel? Confession 2. He tipped the narcos. Trading my exposure for protection. They own Vanguard stock. If I fall, we all do. Empire of Ash. Controversial apex. Pull trigger? Or burn it all? Kneel, I said. And he did.
Sobbing.
Sirens wailed distant, my anonymous tip. As cuffs clicked, I whispered, for Mom.
But his eyes.
Final glare. You'll join me soon. Arrest made headlines like a blockbuster flop. Vanguard VP busted in cartel sting. Sister's revenge? Paparazzi swarming my lobby like roaches. I dodged them in Ray-Bans and a coat too big for summer. Priya driving getaway to a Jersey safe house. Her Civic humming anonymity. You okay? She asked, glancing over. Okay's relative. I clutched the duffel of drives. Dad's while crinkling inside. Ethan's arraignment loomed. But the call from feds confirmed. RICO charges. Narco ties unraveling like cheap yarn. Vanguard stock tanked 15%. Board scrambling for damage control.
Me?
On leave. Pending review. Brass code for don't fuck this up more. The safe house was a bland split level. Borrowed from an old Marine buddy. Views of strip malls and sodium lights. I crashed hard. Dreams a montage. Boot camp mud. Mom's last breath. Ethan's laugh morphing to a death rattle. Woke sweating. 0400. To brew coffee strong as resolve. Plan B. Resurrect the scholarship. Expose the rot without torching innocence. But controversy clung like humidity. Op-eds branded me vigilante. Fox calling it feminist overreach. Emails flooded. Support from vet groups. Hate from Ethan's ilk, traitor whore. Priya arrived at dawn. Laptops and takeout. Mole found his assistant,
Jess.
flipped for immunity. We poured files. Mapping the web, senators greased. Lobbyists looped. This goes nuclear, she said. Eyes wide. Good. I dialed my NSA ghost. Full dump. Redact the small fry. He hesitated. Kenzie. This buries careers. Yours too. Bury mine with his.
Click.
Catharsis. But hollow, Mom's voice. Hate wins nothing. Yet, what was left? Forgiveness? For the brother who'd choked my second chance? Arraignment day. I slipped in back row. Incognito in ball cap and shades. Courthouse marble echoed footsteps like judgments. Ethan. Orange jumpsuit clowning his suits. Eyes scanning, locked on mine. Venomous. Bail denied. He mouthed bitch as they led him. Schadenfreude soured quick. He looked small. The boy who'd stolen my G.I. Joe. Not the monster. Post-hearing. Feds cornered me in the hall. Agent Ruiz. Sharp suit. Sharper gaze.
Hayes.
Walk with us. Interrogation room. Stale coffee. The dance. How do you know about the box? The tip?
Intuition. I lied.
Stonewalling. They had leverage, my unauthorized entry, but I had aces. The will. Proof of his forgeries. Traded info for leniency, they bit. You're a patriot, Ruiz said. Almost admiring. Messy, but effective. Outside. Rain slicked Broad Street. Wipers slashing on my cab. Phone buzz. Board offer. Interim CEO. Tempting. Gut the beast from the head. But twist uncoiled. Ethan's lawyer. Slick as oil.
Emalet NDA demans.
Settle. Or we countersue. Defamation. Harassment. Countersue? On what? Truth? I met him in a midtown steakhouse. Dim as dealings. Mr. Langford. I greeted. Steak knife glinting casual. MS. Hayes. He unfolded papers.
Smug.
Your brothers.
distressed.
Claims coercion. Coercion. I leaned in. Voice velvet over venom. Tell him the scholarship lives. In Mom's name. He'll rot knowing that. Langford paled, knew the will's weight. This ends ugly. Already has. I left him choking on filet. Rain washing the city clean. Back home, loft now. Security upgraded. I rebuilt. Scholarship launch. Gala at the Intrepid. Vets in dress blues mingling with donors.
Priya MCD.
Radiant, I spoke brief. Voice steady. Second chances aren't given. They're seized. Applause thundered. Checks poured. But eyes in the crowd, a woman. Familiar. Ethan's ex. She approached post-toast. He called from lockup. Begging forgiveness. For you. Heart stuttered. Too late. Is it? Her hand on mine.
Soft.
He broke me too. But family's fractured glass cuts both ways. I pulled away. Champagne turning flat. Night after. Alone. I visited Mom's grave. Quiet plot in Paramus. Daisies wilting. Hates winning.
Mom.
Help. No answer. Just wind. But dawn brought clarity. Testify. Full bore. No half measures. Trial prep was trench warfare. Prosecutors prepped me. Your story's key. The betrayal angle humanizes. I nodded. But inside, reliving the motel. Paramedics blur. Ethan's recorded glee. Play it, I demanded, watching his face on loop. Nausea hit. Strength followed. Opening day. Federal courthouse in Newark. Media circus outside. I slipped inside door. Priya squeezing my hand. You've got this. Courtroom hushed as I took stand. Oath tasting like vow.
Dapasid, mestre.
Hayes. Describe your relationship with the defendant. Brother, I said. Eyes on Ethan cuffed. Hollow. Betrayer. Objection overruled. Floodgates opened.
Iledi teba, enlistments mockery.
The frame job. My death scripted. Gasps rippled. Jurors leaned in. Cross-exam? Langford's Jr. Green. Isn't this sibling rivalry? Exaggerated? Rivalry? I laughed. Bitter. He killed my career. My trust. Planted evidence. Tipped killers. Rivalries, kids fighting over toys. This was annihilation. Sustained. Ethan testified next. Crumbling, she. Imagined it.
PTSD.
Liar. Jurors saw through. My rebuttal sealed. The USB played. His voice damning. Enjoy the fall. Silence. Then gavel. Recess. Hallway smoke break. Illegal. But feds looked away. Ruiz joined. Strong. But he's gotta play. Plea for lesser. Name bigger fish. Bigger? Cartel kingpins? Politicos. Your op-ed pissed him off. Twist. Ethan's not pawn lure. Feds used him to hook whales. My revenge? Bait in their pond. I'm in, I said.
White me.
Undercover light. Consulting meets with sketch suspects. Mike's hot. First, Senator Hale. Golf buddy of Dad's era. Now gray eminence. Links course outside D.C. Birdies and bribes. Hayes girl, he boomed. Clubs swing loose. Heard your bros in a jam. Water under bridge. Bridge you built. I parried. Mike itching under collar. Vanguard funds your pack. Drones kill for that. He choked on laugh. Business.
Darling.
Grow up. Tape rolled. Feds pounced post-round. Hail folded like origami. Naming names. Chain reaction. Indictment snowballed. Vanguard gutted. Assets seized. Execs scattering. But cost mounted. Priya confided over late burritos. You're burning out. Date someone. Live.
Live.
Word like shrapnel. After. Ethan's plea hearing. Reduced to conspiracy. 15 to life. Visitation room. Plexiglass cold. He looked shrunken. Kenzie. Why? You first.
Pause.
The will. Mom's fund. That's why. Tears tracked his cheeks.
I.
Jealous. You got her heart. I got ambition.
Truth. Raw.
Forgive, he whispered. Controversial precipice. Not yet. Hung up. Guards leading him. But seed planted, maybe. In time. Gala 2. Scholarship thriving. Kids in ROTC uniforms. Eyes bright. I keynote. Voice cracking once. For the fallen. 4-second starts. Priya hugged after. Sparks? Maybe. Twist finale brewed in a bar off Pearl. Whiskey neat. Anonymous tip. Ethan's cellmate. Cartel remnant. Grudge deep. Your bro snitched final names. They're coming. Paranoia peaked. I armed up. Loft of fortress. Night of reckoning. Shadows at the door. Lockpick scratch. I waited. Glock steady. Heart war drum. Intruder breached 2 goons. Silent steps. First dropped silent. Knee to groin. Second grappled. Knife flashing. Struggle blurred. Slash across arm. Hot sting but I twisted. Shot clean. Sirens wailed. Feds swarmed.
Ruiz Barking. Jesus.
Haze. Cleanup. Bodies cartel. Hit sanctioned.
Ethan?
Protected now. Snitch value high.
Me?
Cleared. But scarred anew. Dawn broke. Bandage itching. Priya stitched me. Reckless hero.
Kiss followed. Tentative.
Live. Whispered. Epilogue unfolded in fragments. Like a dossier closing. Vanguard reborn under my interim helm. Ethics charter etched in stone. Contracts audited to bone. Board begged permanence, I countered. 6 months. Then out. Truth? The chair chafed. 2 like Ethan's throne. Scholarship boomed. Hayes Mom Fund. Campuses nationwide. Kids like me getting shots. Priya and I? Slow burn. Dinners turning dates. Her laugh thawing permafrost. You're healing, she'd say. Fingers tracing my arm's scar. But ghosts lingered. Monthly visits to Ethan. Supermax sterile as a morgue. First few. Silence.
Glares.
Then cracks. Read about the fund.
Monday smile.
I'd nod. Thawing reciprocal. Forgiveness? Not absolution, accountability. Last visit. Glass fogged by breath. Thanks.
Kenzie.
For not letting me win. Family, I said, meaning it fractured, but mending. He nodded. Led away lighter. Controversy crested in Senate hearings. Defense corruption. A Hayes legacy? Me center stage. Unflinching. Betrayal starts small. I testified. Cameras hungry. A laugh.
A lie.
Ends in graves. Hale's ilk squirmed. Reforms trickled, oversight bills.
My up at a seco.
Pundits pivoted. From victim to victor. Victim?
Nah.
Survivor. Reborn. Final twist?
Not Ethan's mine.
In the loft. Box from storage. Dad's old journal. Unearthed in the raid. Pages yellowed. Confession scrawled. Told the kids lies to protect him. Vanguard's poison from day one. Kenzie's the fix. He'd known the rot. Planted the seed in me, the principled one.
Ethan?
Twisted it to crown. Tears hit. Cathartic. I burned the bad pages. Kept the good. Retirement, voluntary, hit spring 24. Sailing charters off Chesapeake. Wind whipping doubts away. Pre-adjoined weekends. Ring glinting eventual. Mom's grave got fresh stones yearly. Daisy's defiant. Rebirth's lesson? Revenge isn't end, reclamation. I laughed at mirrors now. Scars badges. Ethan? Paroled early. 30s maybe. Community service in vet programs. We'd lunch awkward. But real. Brother-sister. Scarred script. America rolled on, elections bitter. Markets manic, but my corner?
Solid.
From Jersey twin bed to Hudson Helm. I seized the fall. Turned it flight. No more jokes. Just justice. Jagged and mine. One last hook, that pamphlet? Framed on the mantle. Recruitment date circled. Second chance eternal.